From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Hello and welcome to the 1011 Now streaming studio. I'm Madison Pitsch here with your Night Beat for Monday, April 15th, and it is a textbook busy news day. Here's what we've got going on today. We're starting with a landslide. It happened in January. You may remember those red tagged businesses like the Antelope Creek Veterinary Clinic on Pioneers Boulevard, where the backside of the building was giving way. It's been nearly 3 months since the entire business plaza was shut down by the city for those dangerous conditions. The manager says right now Antelope Creek Vet is planning to move into trailers in the parking lot of that business, but she says that the plan was halted by the city and that they've run into some issues with getting the permits they've needed. We also learned today that landslide wasn't because of the melting snow like it had originally been thought. It was actually due to a busted water pipe underneath the clinic. To date, people employed at the clinic have been working at sister clinics in the meantime while waiting for those trailers to get up and running. And early voting opens today in the Good Life. You can vote early in person at your county election office through May 13th. Just a reminder, this is the first time we are voting with that new photo ID law. So I'm going to list some things out, so get your pencils ready. You can vote with any of these forms of ID: a Nebraska driver's license, Nebraska state ID, U.S. passport, military ID, tribal ID. You can use hospital or assisted living facility or nursing home records, a Nebraska political subdivision ID, which would be like state, county, city, school, etc. Or you can use a Nebraska college or university ID. It can be public or private. So what comes next? These are important dates to remember. April 29th, it's the last day to register to vote online by midnight at the DMV, at DHHS, at the Department of Education, via agent, via deputy registrar, or by mail. Your voter registration application must be postmarked April 29th, 2024. May 3rd is the last day to register to vote in person at the county election office, which is 6 p.m. local time. May 13th is the last day to vote in person at the county election office. And May 14th is election day, and it's the last day county election offices will accept early voting ballots via mail, agent, or secure drop box. I know that was a lot of info. We've got a lot more about this on our website. And before we move on to our next segment, I want to tell you about a story our assistant news director, Bailey Bischoff, has put together that will air tonight at 10 p.m. This is the first sit-down interview that the Department of Health and Human Services CEO Steve Coursey has done since he was officially hired. Bailey will break down more from that conversation ahead of a big town hall about mental health that's scheduled for tomorrow. I hope you're able to see it. And we are not done. There is a threat of severe weather today, which is why I am bringing in meteorologist Bill Rentschler. Bill, how's it going?
Well, not a great day. Not a good
you
start,
hanging in there?
Not a good start to the week. Anytime we're dealing with severe weather, just your nerves get a little frayed. You want everyone to be okay, and usually means again, you're either staying late or you're coming in early, and a lot of times, when we deal with severe weather in Nebraska, it kind of, will start in central Nebraska or western Nebraska and then kind of move from west to east across the state. We really need the heating of the day, the daytime heating, to really get storms to get going. But this scenario is really quite different because we're expecting some severe weather this evening, mainly in central and western Nebraska. But for a lot of eastern Nebraska, including Lincoln, our primary window for our severe weather is going to be overnight tonight.
Which is unusual. And if I can go back a minute, I'm sorry for coughing into the mic for anyone who's listening.
It's okay. I sneezed in the middle of I think your 5 o'clock newscast. So.
Yeah, it's okay. So severe weather happening overnight, that's not normally when it happens.
We have severe weather overnight, but usually it's because storms have moved from west to east into the area, and they're usually kind of fizzling out as they move west to east. This is, a little bit unusual in that things are really going to be developing and getting going after sunset tonight because we're going to have a really strong low-level jet, which is really going to help kind of force the issue. And our big concern is, for a lot of people, they're going to be asleep. And we're going to be having warnings that are issued, and there's going to be the potential for large hail and damaging winds, and there's going to be a tornado threat overnight too. Usually when you get past sunset, the tornado threat kind of goes by the wayside. That's not the case tonight. And so again, having multiple ways to get your weather information and ways in which that you may not want to wake up, but we want you to wake up because we want you to get that information.
Yep.
Because, God forbid, you do have to put your severe weather plan into place. We want you to have as much time to prepare for that as you can. If you need to wake up the kids, if you need to move the dog, or whatever it might be to get where you need to go. And it's just that much more difficult to do at night. And it's that much more difficult, if there were a tornado, it's dark outside. Can't see it.
Yeah.
And, so we rely on law enforcement and public reports for a lot of our weather information to relay, hey, they reported hail size that was tennis ball, 2.5 inches, or, their law enforcement confirmed there's a tornado on the ground in whatever county. When it's dark outside, everything just gets that much more difficult to do.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite questions to ask on air. You want people to be ready. What can they do to be prepared?
Well, one, if you don't have the 1011 weather app on your phone, that's a great way. I do, obviously. You will hear Ken's voice.
It is a little frightening.
It can be frightening. You can turn off, the voice alerts, but we would recommend, again, going into what we have tonight to make sure that those are turned on, and then, tomorrow morning you can turn them back off again.
That's exactly what I do.
Next round.
Yeah.
So make sure that's one way. Your wireless emergency alerts on your phone. Again, everyone, they just kind of are buried in the settings. Some people might have turned those off, again, because it makes a really loud, obnoxious noise. It's supposed to get your attention. So make sure your wireless emergency alerts are turned on. We will see those with certain severe thunderstorm warnings that are issued if they are given a considerable or catastrophic threat tag from the National Weather Service. The WEAs will sound for severe thunderstorm warnings as well as tornado warnings. If you have a NOAA weather radio, again, those are all very loud and very obnoxious, just like me, just like Ken. And again, it will wake you up in the middle of the night. But we just want you to have some way. We don't want your notification of severe weather arriving being the severe weather. And so those are 3 really good ways, and we would encourage everyone to have multiple ways to get your severe weather information. Obviously, we'd prefer you to get the 1011 weather app. If it's some other app out there, we're not picky at this point. We just want you to get the information.
Yeah. So this airs at about 8 p.m. Tonight. What should people be expecting? Is the situation so fluid you can't say?
Well, the general picture is we're thinking that for Lincoln and eastern Nebraska, that our biggest, we could see maybe a few hit and miss, maybe thunderstorms tonight. The chance is never 0. But our primary window for severe weather is likely going to be during the overnight period tonight, and likely as we head kind of towards sunrise Tuesday morning. So again, parents who are maybe getting kids ready to go to school in the morning, if you're heading to work early in the morning, we could be dealing with some pretty stormy weather as we start our Tuesday. So that's the kind of the primary window for Lincoln, but as you head kind of into central and western Nebraska, it's going to be late Monday night through that 5-6 a.m. time frame that we're going to be watching these storms roll across the state.
Yeah. All right, Bill, I think this is a great time to point out that these guys will stay until the storm is done. 1, 2, 3 a.m. It doesn't matter how long it takes. They're going to stay until you guys get it done.
We've already coordinated with Brad. Brad's coming in early, so Brad will be in at 2 a.m.
Oh.
So that way, whether it's me or Ken or whoever's staying late, can go home and get some sleep.
Yeah, you guys do an excellent job keeping people safe. It's a very important job, and you guys do it well.
We appreciate it.
Bill, thank you for joining us. That is it for us today. Before we go, we're going to take a look at our 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat. Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.